Howdy y'all, I'm TJ.
And I'm Charles C.
And welcome back to Operation Cleverbox, where today we've got a special guest.
Special guest? Wait, what special guest?
Yeah, Zoe, go ahead and bring her on up.
Wow, you guys. I had no idea you shot on an actual spaceship. I thought it was just like a green screen and some lights and stuff, but, more you know.
Sarah, dude, you brought your fiance up here?
She wanted to do a Star Wars video. You were talking about doing Star Wars Month in honor of the new film. Is that a problem?
Well, no. Yes. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Dude, you had to have known that eventually I'd have her move up here.
Move up here? Wait, what?
Yeah, come on, what's your deal?
Oh, it's just I kind of pictured this as like a brother thing. You know, two dudes, two buddies, find some advanced machinery, living in space. Kind of like that one show with the giant robot and the two guys and the alien chick from the future. What was it called? Magus. Remember that show?
No.
Oh, well.
And anyway, I always kind of thought we were more like MST3K. Zoe's our cam bot and Sarah can be our gypsy.
Guys, hello. I'm right here. I'm pretty sure I came here to do a Star Wars video, not listen to you guys argue about what kind of shows you get your influence from. So let's talk about my living arrangements later, and let's do my video now.
Well, wasn't quite what I had in mind to kick off Star Wars Month, but I guess it's as good a way as any.
Don't worry, Charles. I think you'll like what I have in mind.
What exactly did you have in mind?
Well, I'm defending the prequels.
Like that.
Da 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 da
The prequels are a touchy subject with many Star Wars fans. Some people bash them left and right, some people pretend like they don't even exist, and others just cringe at the thought of them.
You're right. It does make me cringe.
Can you go away, please? Just leave.
Sorry.
Well, I'm here to say that even though the Star Wars prequels have their share of flaws, I think they introduce some really good things that often get overlooked. So without further ado, here's my top 10 list of why the Star Wars prequels aren't complete garbage.
Number 1.
Mace Windu. Mace Windu is pretty hardcore. He doesn't get excited about very much. Through episodes 1, 2, and 3, he faces all of his problems with a calm and focused demeanor. It's only in his death scene where we get to see a heightened sense of emotion. Mace really gets to shine in the Battle of Geonosis. He shows up Count Dooku with only 2 lines. He then proceeds to defend himself from Jango's blaster while on fire, and after calmly removing his smoking cloak, he continues to kick butt, later beheading the bounty hunter. I feel like Mace is a prime example of what the Jedi are supposed to be: calm, intuitive, selfless, non-emotional. He's kind of like the teacher I wish I could be.
Number 2.
Darth Maul. Darth Maul doesn't get much character development. He has 1 line? What I do appreciate about Darth Maul is the way he looks. Being an artist, I feel like I can appreciate his contrast to his opponents on almost every level. His lightsaber color, his skin, his hair, or lack thereof. It's a contrast in every single way. He just oozes evil, and it provides a great contrast in that last lightsaber battle at the end of episode 1. And did I mention contrast?
Number 3.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Best Jedi ever. Qui-Gon is another great example of what a true Jedi should be, but at the same time, you can appreciate his ability to go against authority when he needs to. Qui-Gon is full of wonderful, wise quotes, and he's just so fatherly, you can't help but like him. When I was in middle school, seriously, everything I had was green because it was the color of Qui-Gon's lightsaber.
Number 4.
Pod racing. The pod racing in episode 1 is not only fun to watch, but it's the way in which Anakin gets to show off the gajillions of midi-chlorians dancing around in his blood, therefore raising Qui-Gon's suspicions of him being the chosen one. However, even more fun than watching a pod race is actually being in one. That's right, I'm talking about the pod racing video game. I used to spend hours on my brother's N64, and I was horrible at it, but it was still so much fun. And even better than that was when you would walk into an arcade and you would find the pod racing arcade game. And you'd actually get to sit in the pod. It was awesome. Would Star Wars still be Star Wars without pod racing? Of course. But I really appreciate all of the playtime I got because of it.
Number 5.
Jedi Temple. When I was in middle school, I was obsessed with the Jedi Apprentice books. A lot of them took place in the Jedi Temple. In episode 1, you only get to see the exterior of the temple and also the council chambers, so my imagination had to fill in the rest. In 2 and 3, we get to see a lot more of the Jedi Temple and how the Jedi actually operated, so I really appreciated getting to see that. You hear all these stories in the old films about how the Jedi protected the Old Republic, and I thought it was really cool to see that in action.
Number 6.
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul. This lightsaber battle I think is the best, probably in all of the Star Wars movies. Yeah, I just said that. I really like the idea of Master and Apprentice teaming up to fight this great threat. And it's so dramatic. There's that moment where the doors open and Darth Maul's standing there and Qui-Gon says, "We'll take it from here." And they take their cloaks off and they just go. And the double lightsaber comes out and it's like the most amazing thing you've ever seen. And I've already mentioned how great the contrast is in this scene. You have these light heroes fighting this truly dark villain. It's so well lit. If you think of all of the other lightsaber battles in the Star Wars universe, they're pretty much in a dark place. And I think that's to highlight the lightsabers, but I really like this one because you can see everything.
Number 7.
The battle on Geonosis. All 3 of the prequels pack a punch at the end, and episode 2 is no exception. Anakin and Obi-Wan and Padme fighting off alien creatures is all good and fine, but the party really starts when the Jedi get there. Just watching all of those lightsabers light up around the arena gives me chills every single time. Again, we hear all these stories about the Jedi defending the Old Republic, and now we finally get to see it.
Number 8.
The epic Force push. The lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin in episode 3, I personally find a little bit lackluster. But there's this one moment in the middle where they both reach out their hands to force push the other one, and nothing happens. It might sound a little bit underwhelming, but it shows that they are equally matched. The rest of the battle though, I can take it or leave it.
Number 9.
The death of Mace Windu. For years, I thought Mace Windu's death scene was really awkward. I never bought that whole lightning disfigures the Emperor thing or Mace getting his arm chopped off and flying out a window. It just seemed a little bit much. But I've recently come to realize that it closely parallels a scene in Return of the Jedi where Anakin turns to the dark side. In each of these scenes, Anakin has to make a choice. The first time he chooses evil and he helps to kill Mace. The second time, he chooses good, and he saves Luke. Seeing these similarities between these 2 very crucial parts in Anakin's journey has helped me appreciate this scene a whole lot more. Like George Lucas once pointed out, Star Wars is like poetry. It rhymes.
Number 10.
Seeing Yoda fight. I will never, ever forget the first time I saw episode 2. It was the first showing at midnight. When Yoda came out and pulled out his lightsaber and started fighting Count Dooku, the entire theater went nuts. Seeing Yoda fight was like something you've subconsciously been waiting for your entire life. For some reason, I prefer the Count Dooku fight to the fight with the Emperor, but that one's nothing to sneeze at either. In the old trilogy, Yoda is heralded as being one of the greatest Jedi ever, but all we get to see in the old trilogy is a wise old creature who walks with a cane and can happen to lift an X-Wing out of the water. Here we get to see how he got his awesome reputation, and it's pretty stinking awesome to watch. So there you have it, my top 10 reasons why the Star Wars prequels aren't complete garbage. That wasn't so bad, was it, Charles C.?
No, actually. Gotta admit, I'm pretty surprised. You actually made some pretty fair points. But I still think that the prequels are hot garbage, especially Phantom Menace. So I might have to do a follow-up video to yours sometime. I mean, who knows? Star Wars month is just beginning.
So, are you still bent out of shape about her moving in?
Well, I I guess she can offer some variety. Zoe, what do you think? You should have a say in this.
Oh, well, if you're asking my opinion, providing her with living quarters is no problem at all. And it might be nice to have a human female around to balance out the testosterone levels a bit. I think she'd be a fine addition to the operation.
Well, I guess that settles it then. Now let me ask you, what did you think of Sarah's first video? Where do you stand on the prequels? And how pumped are you for The Force Awakens?
Leave a comment down below. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos like these.
And until next time, I'm Sarah.
I'm
And
TJ,
I'm Charles C. Patterson.
and we'll see you next time on Operation Cleverbox.